What's the purpose of having a bride, really? Is it about the bride for the sake of being a bride? That wouldn't make any sense now, would it? That would make the bride an object of worship. Because think about it, if you build a chair, what is the purpose? Is it just for the chair to sit there and be adored? No. That would make the chair an object of worship if it's just there for you to look at it and adore and say, wow, what a beautiful chair. No, a chair is made for a function, to fulfill a purpose, which is for somebody to sit on it. It has a function. You make a hammer. A hammer is made not for the hammer's sake, but for hammering, for doing things, for hitting stuff, for building. And the stuff you build, what do you build it for? Just for the stuff to sit there and collect dust? No. A table is built with the hammer for the purpose of putting things on top of it. Everything has a purpose. So, well then, what is the purpose of a bride? The purpose of a bride is not to simply be loved and adored and looked at and, be consummated with. The purpose of a bride, simply put, is to procreate. See, too many people get caught up with the bride. You get married and then it's all about the wife now. But is it? The wife was never the end goal. The wife was a means to the end goal, which is for you to be fruitful and multiply. That is the first commandment ever given to man, is it not? Be fruitful and multiply. Right then in the first chapter of the book, alongside it from this, every tree except this one. So, many people enjoy their marital relations as well as you should. You should enjoy intimacy with your wife. Yes, that's one of the properties of the function. See, you cannot have offspring and multiply unless you consummate your marriage. So that's one of the function, and part of the properties of that function is the pleasure that comes along with it. But that's not the purpose. The purpose is procreation. So see, when we come to the Lord as born-again believers, for many Christians or Jews that come to Yeshua, so many of us get caught up in ourselves, thinking that it's about us. I'm born again now. It's about my salvation. It's about being free from sin. It's about my personal growth, my overcoming sin, what the Lord has done for me and how He helps me and how I'm growing and what I'm learning. And you become an object of your own self-worship because you're constantly concerned with yourself. But that's not the purpose. You weren't saved for the sake of the Lord just looking at you and saying, oh wow, look at this one. Oh, he's so pretty. He's so holy. Look at how he's growing. While that could be a property of the function, and the Lord indeed delights in our growth, that is not the function. We were saved not for our own benefit, but to be His bride. And just like I mentioned in the previous example, the purpose of the bride is to do what? Be fruitful and multiply, fruitful and multiply. Lift up the name Most High Adonai. To be fruitful and multiply, to bear fruit for God and multiply. To produce offspring for Him. You were saved to do what? To be His witness, to expand, to become one of His. Now you're a part of the family. Now do what I do. Follow my footsteps. Yeshua said, greater works than this you shall do. Now you're my bride. You are a part of the family business. Now you go and make disciples out of the peoples. You go and produce more fruit and multiply. It's not about you. Yes, you are blessed, and yes, you are given. Yes, you are forgiven. Yes, you are growing. And yes, you're going to stumble and fall and get back up. But if you're so always just looking at how you're doing and how you're walking, you're gonna miss the point entirely and you're never gonna get it. You'll be so caught up in yourself, you'll be useless to the Father, because you'll constantly think about how you look and how other people think about you when it's never been about you. You're just the vessel, you're just the hammer, you're just the sandal, you're the chair. The purpose of you is to serve the will of the king and to further expand his family, to go out to the ends of the earth, be a light unto the nations. Can you imagine if the light only looked at itself and kept the light for itself so it can see itself? That light would be darkness, because light in its very essence, it's always in transit. Once it reaches its destination, it kind of dissipates, doesn't exist. Photons, they go from one place to another. You see them, they get absorbed, and they are no more. A light has to always be given out in order to exist. It's just the property of light, and we are to be a light. Not our light, but his light. He put his breath in us, his spirit, his fire, his light, so that we can mirror, be like the moon and reflect his light. Because it's not about the moon either, is it? The moon doesn't have a light of its own. The moon has a purpose for signs and seasons and times. Tell us about the cycles of the earth, the harvest time, the seeing time. Everything is made for a purpose, because without purpose, things die off for a lack of purpose. So being born again, coming to the Lord, what does it mean? Sure, you can have a brief honeymoon, right? Every wife, every husband like a brief honeymoon. You get together, you fall in love. And then now let's get back to work. What are we here for? What is our agenda? What is our purpose? Be fruitful and multiply. Grow, produce fruit, the spiritual fruit, the fruits of the Spirit, and multiply, make disciples out of the nations. Now, it doesn't mean that everyone should go out and make disciples. A baby is not supposed to procreate. There is a time of growth. You should be growing. But as you're growing, you should always be a witness to your growth. Preaching and witnessing is not the same thing. And it's not really witnessing as much as it is simply being a witness. You just testify about what happens in your life. What happened to you? Who he is, I don't know. All I know is I was blind and now I see. What a great witness. Doesn't matter that the people rejected him, mocked him, kicked him out of the synagogue. They asked his parents, "Is he your son?" "Yes." "How can he see now?" "Well, he's a grown man, ask him." Who opened your eyes? I told you already, it was Yeshua from Nazareth. Why do you keep asking? Do you want to follow him also? We follow Moshe. Well, that's fine. Why was that man healed? To bear witness. He wasn't just given eyes so he can see and do nothing with it. You're not given breath of life to just exist and do nothing with it. Even Paul wrote about this, except that, most Christians don't understand what Paul is talking about and misappropriate it. But he said, we've been given freedom not to indulge the flesh, but to serve one another humbly in love. This freedom in the spirit, freedom from the darkness of this life, freedom from addiction to sin, so that we can actually fulfill the purposes of God, to be his bride. A bride is not a child, it's not a kid in a preschool that obeys the nanny. A bride still obeys the husband, but she has much more leniency and freedom. She can move about in the kingdom, go from one room to another. She doesn't need a hall pass. But even her is under some restriction. She cannot come to the king at any time, and she has to show up when the king summons her, and she has to fulfill her duties as a bride. There's always a responsibility. In Zechariah chapter 3 or 6, I think it was 3, when the Lord cleaned the filthy clothes of Yehoshua the high priest and said, if you obey me, if you live according to my ways, I will give you free access along this here that you see, to be in his presence, if we obey, if we produce fruit, if we multiply, if we serve the King properly, fulfilling the purpose for which we were created. Not for our own sake. That is just a property of salvation, but it's never been about us. So remember this. If you truly believe you are saved, because most people, they think they're saved, but they're not, let it show. Be a witness. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to pretend. If you are saved, it will show, because you'll be filled with the Spirit of God. You will produce fruit, and every tree is known by its fruit, so that you can be a witness and lead many to salvation. Praise Papa.
The bride, she waits for the groom. She lets her light shine by keeping oil in her lamp, trimmed and burning, to be ready when the bridegroom comes. That is the song. That is the parable. In the Song of Solomon, she wonders, have you seen my beloved? It isn't the man wondering for the bride. It is the bride looking for, longing for, panting for the groom. The groom. And she's, where is he? When will he come for me? When will he send for me? When will he rapture me? To bring me into his Father's house. It's time. With Abraham, he sent his servant to go get his bride for his son. She had no idea. She was just waiting. She didn't know when. She didn't know who. But the servant came. Oh, and she was ready to go. No delay. Let's go. And then the bride was brought to the groom. And it wasn't about gawking over the bride. You have it so wrong in your weddings. It isn't here comes the bride, it's here comes the groom. Lord, we long for you. We're waiting for you, for your coming. Here comes the groom. Is the bride ready? Has her lamp been trimmed and burning? Has she been in white? Has she perverted herself with the world? Has she served idols? She's preparing herself, but not from outward beauty, inward beauty, as Paul says to his letters. A woman should not be consumed with her outward beauty. That is the women of the West, consumed with their outward beauty. But let it be the true beauty, worthy and ready for the groom. Song of Solomon. And as Guy just said, the procreation part. He isn't just coming for his bride to stare at her. And although she should be staring at him, anxious because she's been waiting, the father says to the son, son, go get your bride. Ancient Jewish tradition. The father tells the son, when it's time, go get your bride. Let's tabernacle with her. The Feast of Tabernacle, the one that is celebrated in the millennial, all nations, to build a chuppah, They do that in many of the African cultures. Go get your bride. The bride should be expecting and waiting for the groom. And what is the purpose? Hannah could not be happy just being with her husband and not being able to bring forth children. Even though she was loved, what is her function? She prayed for a child. Let me fulfill my function. It isn't the glory of the glory for simply being the bride, but what the bride does. Many of you may not consider that when the Lord comes for his bride, it's not just coming from his bride to stare at her. In the West, you put jewelry all over the bride, but it's the bride that is the jewelry of the groom. We call that, you ready? A trophy wife, to adorn the man, to make him look good. And you want, hey, have you seen my wife? Behold my son, in whom I'm well pleased. Behold my wife. She's not a prostitute. She's not a whore. Look at her, reflecting what? The glory. Back in the 1800s, women would often say, I need to be made a wife, so I'm not an old maid. Give me dignity. Give me respectability. I don't have it without a husband. Put your name over me. Give me status. The bride has no glory of her own. As Guy said, the moon reflects the sun, else it's just a dead rock. A gray, dead rock with no beauty of its own. Many of you have become beauty of your own. Lord, you are beautiful. No, Lord, look how beautiful I am is what you sing. And that is what the purpose is, all of the makeup and all of the fake hair and everything that you do. And then you stare in a mirror at yourself all day and post pictures of yourself looking at yourself. Pride and arrogance and ugliness. That's not reflect the groom, whose name you are to take. He doesn't take yours. He takes you. You take his name, and you fulfill your purpose. When the Lord comes for his bride, that is the beginning of the work of you. And for eternity, this bride, as in the beginning, so shall it be. You are made and created as the bride of the Mashiach to produce. And what are you going to produce? You are going to procreate with the Lord. That's reigning. A king marries a queen and she reigns with him in the kingdom and produces fruit. Do you realize that eyes have not seen nor ears have heard what is in store entirely? The universe is ever expanding. It isn't just there to just sit there and be nothing. And our little blue ball in the space of heaven and earth shall pass away, but his word shall not. You are established. You are established to go throughout this magnificent creation, not just first the practice of going out throughout all the earth. Now it'll be throughout all the universe. Do you understand that God doesn't create anything for nothing, and nothing has something and purpose and function when it's time and when it's ready? And in the infancy of this universe, and this little bright blue spot, from this spot, like an atom, explodes and goes throughout the universe. We have no idea. The New Jerusalem goes way up into space. Isn't that amazing? You have no idea. You have some suspicion of what God has in store. You are going to be quite busy, especially after the millennial reign. You who are called not to look upon yourself, but to look upon him whom you have pierced. You who have been set aside for the Son, that the Father has ordained an unfathomable, incomprehensible, immortal, invisible, tangibly manifested function of the bride who will be fruitful and multiply. It has yet to be seen the fullness of what we shall become and what Father has in store. We have no idea. I can only imagine.
Solomon says, I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. You the one that I give you all my life till the day that I die. Hashem Adonai, you're the one that I give you all of me till the day that I die. Till the day that I die. Belong to me, I'm your Ahuvi, you're my Ahuvi. I belong to you, you belong to me, you're my Ahuvi, I'm your Ahuvi. Ahuvi, I'm your Ahuvi, you're my Ahuvi. Oh. You belong to me. I'm your Ahuvi. You my Ahuvi. I belong to you. You belong to me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for marrying me. Hashem Adonai, you're the one that I give you all of me till the day that I die. Hashem Adonai, you're the one that I give you all of me till the day that I die. I belong to you, you belong to me. Adonai Hashem, you're my Ahuvi. I belong to you, you belong to me. Adonai Hashem, you're my Ahuvi. And my beloved is mine. Come, all ye people, to the wedding feast of the Lamb of God. Let us glorify Adonai our King. Say it with me. I am my beloved, and my beloved